Una estación de Raúl Alarcón. Escúchanos wherever you are a través
KTNT Radio and TV, broadcasting and podcasting. You got the Brown Beauty back on duty, Jesse T, and we are live, baby, from the Gray Ghost. The Brown Beauty is here doing the Jesse T show at 5 o'clock sharp in the city of Los Angeles as I approach the station coming up the backside from Santa Monica. I was conducting some business there that I had to take care of today, and man, the traffic is just insane. I'm taking all the back streets in to where I gotta go. Thank goodness I'm a native here, been here for 55 of my 57 years of life here in Southern California, so I know every back street, alley, driveway to cut across, commercial parking lot, shopping center, one-way, two-way, three-way, four-way streets, the way to get around this traffic. I'm better than a freaking GPS, let me tell you. That's right, man. I'm better than Waze. I'm better than a Google search. Hey, it's right up here in the brains of me, Jesse T. The world according to Torero. It's time for the Jesse T Show. And I'm on the way. My guys are already in the parking lot, in the studio. Lee Baby Michaels is on his way too. He's going to be hooking that up. So when I roll in, I'm just kind of rolling in like the marine layer that hits us here in Southern California. As I'm sitting here at a light, I can't push this light because it's got one of those one of those photo cameras on there that take a picture of you. If you run it, they take that picture. We all been caught by the photo camera. Hey, Jim Thomas, brother. Hey, man, you got to hook me up. Of course, you know, this week, of course, is your big day. This week is your big day. And there's Scott right there. Hey, don't worry, Scott. I'm like a block away. I'm already on, broadcasting live from the Gray Ghost. So I'm going to roll into you. Guys better be ready for Freddie, Scotty. So I'm gonna roll in with cameras hot, man. It's coming in hot, baby.
We're ready for you.
All right. All right, Scott Engrotti's there waiting for me. The WARFIGHTERs are waiting for me in the parking lot of the Jesse T Show. We've got Jerry Angelo checking in too with us. He's going to be there talking about PTSD and this great movie called WARFIGHTER. You got to check this out, man. We got two tubes, baby. That's better than one tube. Hey, I've always wanted 3 tubes, but I only got 1 tube. So I'm as good as I get. That's right. Look let me tell you about this. We got 2 YouTube videos up, trailers on the Jesse T Show. Go to facebook.com/Jesse Torero. As I sit here in the dark, it's funny, I'm sitting here in the dark under a freeway overpass, and I'm like freaking out because I'm saying, what if there's like a 9.5 earthquake happening right now? The WARFIGHTERs are going to have to come down and save me. That's what they're going to have to do. They're going to have to save this poor brown boy's butt. Anyhow, good to have you along with me. Jim Thomas has us on, already checking in from the oldest martial arts Hall of Fame in the United States of America. USA Martial Arts Hall of Fame. Going to have a big thing right here by the station here on Saturday, the 19th. You can get your tickets and show up. Everybody who's in martial arts, movies, and the real deal kind of guys are going to be there. You can get autographs and take pictures. It's a good time. So check that out. Saying hi to Mama Tio as I was on. Also saying hi to a whole bunch of other people as I roll up here into the parking lot. I'm about 100 feet away. Now I'm about 90 feet away. I feel like Elon Musk landing the rocket ship in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. I'm about 80 feet away. T-minus 80 feet and coming. T-minus 70 feet and coming down. T-minus 60 feet, 50 feet, 40 feet, 30 feet, 20 feet. I'm rolling in the parking lot, and there they are. Oh my God, it's the guys. Yeah, yeah, that's the way to do it. Right on. Yes, what am I doing? I have no idea, but I drove past them. It was all a lot of fun. That's right, it was a lot of fun. So I think I got to back up here, and I got to pull in this way here and park over here. I am parking in the wrong spot. I am parking in the wrong spot. That's right. So I got to turn around and park here as I go. What better way to kick off the Jesse T Show than to do it with some pizzazz and some style, right? I mean, are you kidding me? We know how to make it happen here, man. You know, sometimes yours truly has to do stuff in a unique kind of way. Boom, baby. I'm here at the studio, KTNT Radio and TV. I tell you what, you know, the show must always go on. Just because you're late in the road doesn't mean nothing. Scott Engrotti, man, check it out.
Hey, y'all.
Hey, he's here with us. I love this. This is good. And this is a superstar right here, man.
Hi guys, how's it going?
Yes, man, Jerry Angelo. What is that, an Italian name? What, you got Irish and Italian going on here?
It's Swiss, Mexican, Italian.
Man, you are just a mixed up MF.
It's
man.
terrible, isn't it?
You're an American. American. He's an American.
100%, yeah.
And in the movie, in the trailer, man, you had this full lumberjack kind of lumberjack
Scott,
beard.
yeah,
I mean, but it was dark and it was huge.
Handsome.
Yeah. Man, I fell in love with you. I want you to know.
Thank you.
If you weren't married, I'd ask you out on a date. But you'd have to wear a red wig.
We don't make those kind of movies, man.
Oh, yeah. Look at, they're loving you already, man. Look at this.
Hi, guys.
We're already banging it out there, man.
Oh, check this out. I wore my my Warfighter shirt.
I love that shirt.
This is we're the Dragon Slayers is the name of the team.
Yes. Oh, yeah. That's right.
You remember the symbol? And
yes.
it comes off on the patches and stuff like that?
Very good. Man, this guy's got buff, man. Look how big he is. He's a big guy, man. Did you work out for that film?
Yeah.
Did you pump some iron?
I did, yeah.
You were looking sharp. Lee Baby Michaels is following me. He's going to be here in a second, so we're going to stand right in the friggin' parking lot and do the show until he gets in here.
No problem.
That's
man.
pretty cool.
You know, I can do it anywhere. You know.
Oh, it just works like this?
Just like this, it goes out to like 25 sites. Bang! I'm on right now.
Right on.
I just don't have the graphics and the music working for me right now. But I don't need music and graphics. I'm my own friggin' graphics and music.
You're just a T, man.
That's right. I told you. Scott said, "Yeah, I'm a different guy." We met at Priscilla's this week, and I was very calm and cool and collected and very proper and very, very quiet and very debonair and all those beautiful words.
I'm going to make a quick phone call before we jump in the studio.
Now,
One second.
Are you crazy?
Crazy, man. Crazy.
I'm going to make sure that
They got some money for me?
no, you know, I wish. If they had some money, we're making our next movie, buddy.
You know, we'll do some collection.
Is our other person able to log in?
Yep.
Oh yeah, they can log in. That's all.
Oh, can they? No, but can they talk to us?
Well, they can talk to us if they want to right now, but I'm not going to take that.
The only call we're going to take is Christine's.
Yeah.
Did she have the Skype set up? Or?
Well, no, she can get the Skype
Okay.
set up.
I gave her the phone number though. You got the phone number, right?
Text her this number right here.
So what we got going on, guys, here on the Jesse T Show is we kind of hang out in the parking lot from 5 to 6 or waiting to get in the studio because they won't let me have a key. I wonder why. Maybe it's the last time because I hawked everything about a year and a half ago. I don't know. I got it out of pawn. You know. I'm lying to you. That's what I'm doing. But we're going to be talking about PTSD. This is a serious subject now, so I'm going to quiet it down a little bit. Got to be talking about PTSD. You know, our warriors, our heroes that are out there on the forefront, the front lines, taking the heat for you and I so that we can live our lives in a wonderful way in a parking lot in Culver City near Sony Studios. We can enjoy ourselves and hear the seagulls and have a great time at the beach, and you and your family can love this great country, God's blue-green earth, the greatest country history has ever created, if you understand history. And it's because people have put their life on the lines and people have shed their blood, their family's lineage, for you and me to live here. And that's what this movie is about. It's about a family. It's about several families, a group of guys that came together and they create a bond. And it's about this bond and what happens to them in their journey through this movie and through this story that Jerry wrote. Did you write this?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, he wrote it. Now Jerry directed it, he wrote it, he cast it, he produced it, and he starred in it too.
But I couldn't have done it alone.
Yeah.
I couldn't. No, it took a team.
You had a
sure,
team,
yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
You had a big team to do it. But the magnificent thing about it is this is more than a passion movie. This is a movie of destiny for you, isn't it?
Yeah, it started to have some kind of miracles taking place right from the get-go, and it just through all the challenges and obstacles, they kept just getting miraculously taken care of.
Yeah.
And by the time down the road, after 2.5 years of just grinding away, we got it complete.
You know, when you do good things in life, good things come back to you. And this topic is needed today to be talked about more and more and more and more and more. It's sort of like on the same level as human trafficking. these are epidemics that are running in our country, what our soldiers are going through now, men and women, and more so than ever before, women, because this is the first time that they've ever had to really experience being out on the front lines of combat and seeing all the things, and now they're coming back with the same tremendous problems.
In fact, Christine Marie, who is a 17-year vet we're going to talk with later, the women have PTSD too. They're getting overlooked, and in the town that she lives in, they have counseling for the men with soldiers for PTSD, but she's not allowed because they're afraid that if a woman's involved, that the men won't open up. So there's not an outlet for her.
Whole different thing going
so
on.
she's given a different counselor, one that that doesn't deal with PTSD per se. So it's there's some new movements that need to come to light along with this. And what Warfighter, just the movie started out as a movie, it's become a movement, and there are many people across the board that need help in different areas. And each town we go to, it's different topics. We were in Tehachapi for the world premiere, and with PTSD.
Yeah,
and the
not
veterans.
Hollywood, not New York,
No.
not Chicago or South Beach. You were in Tehachapi.
Right.
Small little quiet town in the middle of the mountains.
And what happened was the brain cancer. One of our actresses, a child actress, had brain cancer, and she survived, and she's 15 now. But it's affected her life, and there was another member in the audience that was coming to support us, and then we ended up raising money for her. But she had surgery on Monday. Her name was Connie Jones, and we just started sending prayers up and collecting money for her. And her surgery went well. And now she's already out of the hospital, and she's gonna have to start other treatments and stuff. But everything went really well. So we were able to focus on some of the needs, immediate needs. So
it's interesting how this film that started out with the idea of warriors in battle and heroes coming back, having to deal with the terrible atrocities that they have to see, and that they have to defend their partners out there, and yet it has kind of widened out to people who are suffering in other ways of their lives that maybe might be forgotten.
Yes.
So what we're going to do, we're going to jump into that. You go into the studio now. Lee just showed up. He'll get you settled in. I got to go to the Gray Ghost and get something real quick.
Okay, cool.
And I'll be back in, and I'm still on. Are you guys in? So you guys go in. I'll be in there in 1 minute. Less than a minute. Okay. So that's what it's all about. We're going to be doing that. It's just we're looking forward to this one. I'm looking forward to really talking these things out. We've got some cool things that are going to be happening here in the next 45 minutes. We're going to be talking to a woman who is a veteran who did 3 tours of duty, and she has a story that's pretty unbelievable, guys. I mean, we have to defend and we have to help our warriors. We have to do all that we can to help these people that defend our right in America to live the way we live, irrespective of your politics, irrespective of your religious beliefs, irrespective of anything. There's an old warrior's cliche. There ain't no atheists in a foxhole, and there ain't no color in a foxhole. You are defending the rights of your partner and the rights of your platoon, your guys, against the enemy that wants to kill you. So they come home, and they're home in a matter of hours. You see, that's the thing. It's not like they get to spend 6 months in rehab and a year dealing with this. They come home in a matter of hours. They're home in Southern California, they're home in Memphis, they're home in Chicago, they're home in Tehachapi. In a matter of hours, they fly in, and they still have all these things going on. And that's the thing that we have to really understand here as we get going live here on the show. And what I'd like to do, Lee, when you have the opportunity, are we up and rolling now? Yeah.
I was waiting for you.
I'm here. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to play I have 2 trailers. I want to play the first trailer of Warfighter, in the first one and then the second one, and we'll talk about that in a second here as you guys are seeing this happen right in front of you here. Plug me in, baby. Yes. I, you know me.
I gotta have these so
Oh,
we can get
okay.
people on the phone.
Okay, well, yes, we have Christine. She's going to call in on the studio line.
Yeah,
So can I turn this contraption off? Or I'm just going to leave it going. Yeah, I'm just going to, let me plug in here. See, that's the beauty of the Jesse T Show, man. I just take it and I go with it.
It's time for Straight on the Point with Jesse T from some undisclosed location somewhere in the world. Now, ladies and gentlemen, here's Jesse T.
Well, it's good to be back with you. The Brown Beauty is back on duty. Hey, of course, it's the Jesse T Show. It's time, once again, to bring it to you live, the way we always like to do it here in Southern California, in paradise, except there's just too many friggin' people. That's all. If there wasn't as many people in paradise, this would really be paradise. But the traffic is just, I don't know what's going on here. Every single day of my life, it gets worse and worse. And you know what it is? It's everybody's becoming an Uber driver and a Lyft driver, and they're clogging up. We need to go on strike against Uber and Lyft. In fact, I'm going to be picketing like the O.J. Simpson pickets were at the overpasses. Uber and Lyft drivers, get off my freeway! You guys are clogging things up, man. Oh, I'm sorry, Lee. You are the king of Uber. Thank you.
No, it's all the out-of-towners that moved here from other places.
Oh, is that what it is?
How to drive.
Well,
We need a wall around California. A wall around Los Angeles is what we need.
That's right.
Look at the DMV has the driving test in 43,502.1 languages. Okay, but they also give the driving test to these people, and I don't friggin' know if the test that they get in their language is the same test I take, because nobody stops and does the right thing anymore.
Hey,
So they're not taking the right test. That's what it is.
something wrong.
Something wrong. Scott Engrotti's checking in here. The great actor, character actor, man. He's got lots of stuff out there, lots of stuff happening. And that beautiful beard, he's like a mountain man. You're just really terrific. He's been on lots of TV shows. He's been lots of biker shows. You were on the last big biker show. The Mayans are coming out now.
Yeah. There's one coming up, too, that we won't talk about that one yet, but we'll talk about it when the time comes.
Yeah.
I was on Scorpion.
But you were on the last one.
Right, I was.
And so many shows you've seen them on. You know, the thing about character actors is that when they become the character, you kind of forget who they are because they're the character. And lead actors, you remember because they play themselves. But character actors always end up playing somebody. And then off to the left, on the other side of the Grand Canyon here, we have the gentleman we introduced outside. And that, of course, is Jerry Angelo. Hey, Jerry, what you doing, buddy? Director, writer, producer of this great flick called Warfighter. And we're going to play the first trailer. Man, great trailer, buddy.
Thank you.
Great trailer.
I didn't do it. I have a great friend named Cameron Bale that put both of them together.
Boy, I tell you, Cameron did a great job on that.
Yes, he did.
The cuts on that and the music and the way they put it together, it gave you just enough of the story to kind of make you want to, really see more.
And
of
the
film.
music was the original score done by Logan Byers. He did everything in the.
So you had original score there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No.
Man, everything about this is a Destiny film, and you guys have got to see this film. And in fact, let's just push this out right now. On Saturday, we have something really huge going on in the city of Yorba Linda, where Nixon is at, the Nixon Library.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
It's
So tell me about Saturday real quick. Let's get that going right now.
Oh, what's
happening on Saturday?
Oh, gosh. Yeah, so, one of our very dear friends, actually, that Scott introduced me to a while back, Elizabeth Cordova, and she's an advocate for all of our veterans and in our military. She does her service like with managerial skills and stuff. She put us in touch with a gentleman named Clay Baxter, Commander Clay Baxter of the 11th MU,
right?
Which is the 11th Marine Expeditionary Unit of Yorba Linda, and he took us under his wing, the Project Warfighter, and wanted to put a big event together for the community to raise money for their organization so that they can help the military vets or in the military in their area.
So this is taking place Saturday afternoon out in Yorba Linda.
Yes, and there's we're expecting a crowd of 500. It's a red carpet event. They're doing
great.
They're doing the color guard.
Right.
We have the Rock for Vets are singing the national anthem and the America's So Beautiful. What's it called?
America's So Beautiful.
Yeah, we're singing that, and then we have a live performance by David Jackson and Zeus.
Wow, Zeus, the guy with the funny eye and wrestling, Zeus.
Well, this is gonna be a different Zeus.
Oh, okay.
One that can sing and play the guitar.
Oh, I was gonna say I didn't know he could sing.
He's gonna be performing our theme song.
Yeah, the theme song from Warfighter, which is called "Leave the Light On." It's a beautiful song, very just beautiful song.
Yeah, that's it. Number one. Yeah. Okay. Good. And so that's happening. What time?
3 o'clock, I believe it starts at Yorba Linda at the community center.
It's like I said, it's a whole event. 3 o'clock starts the red carpet, where you take pictures. We have a big banner and everything. And then what happens is that's at 3 o'clock, and then at 4 o'clock the events begin, which will go for about 20 minutes or so. And then after that, the movie begins. Watch the movie, and then there'll be a Q&A. With myself and moderated by Christine Marie.
And she's supposed to call in if she can, if she's on ready to go. Yep. So we're going to go to Christine right after we play this first trailer. Now, this is trailer number 1, and it's the newest trailer, it says at least. Can you set this up, trailer number 1?
I'm just going to let it speak for itself.
Okay. All right. So this is a Warfighter trailer number 1. Check it out, guys.
ETA. Seconds.
Go!
Hey,
Run!
listen to me, okay? Honey, you're just having a dream.
Daddy, will you please say something for little Hammy?
Live the good life. Bless your soul, Hammy.
Do you think sometimes souls get lost between here and heaven?
I think you need to see a professional. Here's to Mr. Wittenberg. Mr. Wittenberg!
See you, Dad.
4 of our Delta operatives went dark after they crossed into Iranian territory.
I don't ever want you to go away and never come back home to me and Mommy.
58 hours ago, a 4-man Delta unit was dropped off in the Farah province on a recon and surveillance mission. We believe that they are utilizing this location in Iran to develop biochemical weapons. It's imperative that we get eyes on the ground down there immediately.
Soon you pass over the Iranian border, you are on your own.
No air assets. This is not a search and rescue mission.
Clear this. Clear this.
You're the most loyal, toughest sons of bitches I ever met. It is an honor to roll with you.
You're the one that's been watching me my whole life. I'm coming back. I'm not gonna miss this.
But what if something happens that you can't control?
Said the good witch of the north.
Engage targets.
So Dorothy closed her eyes and tapped the heels together.
3.
There is no place like home.
2.
There is no place like home.
1.
There is no place like home.
One is none, two is one. I had you back then. I've got you back now.
What are we running from?
Not we. You.
Wow, 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 wow.
Like
Great
amazing
trailer.
story, man.
Wow.
That's pretty cool, huh?
Very cool. You know, and you play the part so quiet, but was that's a great choice on that part, that character. And the line that your daughter in the film says, is there the heaven line?
Oh, jeez. I'm getting chills right now.
I mean, that line.
You know where that came from?
What a wonderful line.
Can I tell you about that line?
Yeah.
Okay. So, man, okay. I totally forgot. Because you mentioned it specifically, there's so much about the film. It's very precious to me for many different reasons. But the Paul Strategos and Jamie Strategos are the mom and dad of the daughter Hannah Strategos, who plays the ailing child with the brain cancer,
right?
In the movie. And so Hannah, she came on board, and when we're getting ready to shoot the scenes for that day, I'm talking to Paul, and I was saying, I'm not a dad. I was like, you are, and he has 4 kids, and he has conversations with them. And so I said, what kind of conversations do you have with your children? And he just started talking, and I was like, wow. And I took the notes, and I put those notes right into that.
That's a fantastic line, and it's so childlike. That's a line. I'm a father. It's a line a child would ask at that age.
Yeah.
And this girl, Hannah, he's talking about, actually did survive brain cancer. She had a very rare tumor that was removed when she was 4. She's 15 now, and she played the role of a cancer patient in the movie. So it was real life. And,
if Hannah's watching, I know she has. But hi, Hannah. Thanks so much. Hey, Paul, the Strategos family. James,
thank you for everything that you did for us.
We're just lining them up, man. There's a whole bunch of people that are just starting to come on board here.
Fantastic.
It's real cool.
Cool.
Absolutely. Yeah. And a good trailer sells a movie, but oftentimes today, the trailer is the best part of the movie.
Yeah, wow.
But in this movie, it lives up to the trailer.
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
It only gets better. The movie is there's so many different facets to this movie. There's emotions of every kind. I mean, there's tears, there's laughter, there's suspense, action, comedy, and it all ties together back to PTSD to bring let families understand what happens inside a family instead of just what happens out in the battlefield and what that person goes through. It's what everybody else surrounded by that person that comes back from war.
And everybody handles it differently. PTSD affects everybody differently. It's not like a cold. We all get a runny nose. We all might get a headache. We all get a fever. But PTSD can affect you differently than somebody else who lived the same experience right by you, but yet they get affected differently than you.
Yeah, I'm not an expert on the subject at all.
Right.
In writing this story, as I wrote it and realized that PTSD would be a part of it, once I said, okay, this will be a scene here with PTSD, which I don't know about. This is kind of what I want as far as the story goes. But then I got testimonials, and we went out and did interviews with veterans from all different eras, from World War or Vietnam, Korean War, and everything current.
Right.
And what I learned was, and some didn't want to speak. They said they couldn't.
Even to this day.
Yeah, and it's like there's Jerry, and put their hand on my shoulder and said, "Look, I want to help you, but I can't talk about this." And it's
we have one of the largest suicide rates happening with our ex-military men and women, more than ever before, coming back from any combat zone. They called it shell shock. They called it battle fatigue in years and wars ago, and now they call it PTSD. They have a clinical idea of what it is today, but more people even with all of the doctors and all of the understanding and all the drugs available for doctors, more people are suffering to the extent that they don't have a mission anymore in life and they end their lives. And not being an expert, but one can have logic to this. And I think one of the elements that is there that wasn't there before in great number are the toxic drugs that these men and women
medicated and nowhere to turn to figure that out.
Yeah. And that's a big problem that we have in all of our society today going on. So this movie touches a lot of topics, it sounds like.
And
it sure does.
I couldn't even put it into words, the premiere that we had. It was cathartic for all the vets there. It started off as a 10-minute question and answer. It turned into a 2-hour therapy session for everybody involved. I mean, vet after vet got up and told their stories for the first time. They felt compelled that after this movie and having so many people in the same place going through the same thing because of this movie, it just opened up a floodgate for everybody. It was a PTSD for the vets. It was trauma that one of our own cast went through that none of us had any idea. It was a revelation. It was just amazing. It's just it's hard to explain. I would love for everybody out there to actually see this movie so they can understand what I'm trying to explain.
And there are all the topics involved with it, but when you get down to Warfighter, it's a smart movie. It's not made for just a regular audience. It's just there looking for something to get blown up and stuff.
It's not a cartoon movie.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a cartoon.
A big green screen cartoon movie.
It's made specifically for the people that need it.
It's a story.
It unfolds.
And storytelling is something that's kind of lost in Hollywood these days. But as independent producers of film, and your film studio is
Fireborn Studios.
As independent producers, you can take on these stories that have impact in people's lives. And Warfighter, here's some of the advertisement that they're doing. It's very cool. These postcards are very cool. Warfighter, and I'll show our Facebook audience and Instagram and Twitter.
What it says on there is you can get Warfighter on Amazon. It'd be great if you can leave a review. You can also go on IMDb and give us a good rating.
Please.
And then just share it with your friends and family, and that helps the little guy, since we're the as little as you can get, but we are going to become a tsunami and become a force. So.
We're underdogs. It started with this film to tell the story, and we started on a shoestring budget. Now, when you see the movie, you will never ever imagine that it was a shoestring budget.
Well, just looking at the trailer alone, the production value is beautiful, and Scott plays your father.
Yes, he does.
In this movie.
Yeah.
Is he? I wonder why. You guys have the same feeling.
I look a little different during the filming. I had
except yours is a little gray, brother.
Yeah,
that's what happens,
No, man, I color. What are you talking about?
Wow.
This is all hair color.
That's color. That's Wolfman Jack style right there, baby. Right. But that's what you were saying?
I forget.
Well, let's bring somebody very important on. She's on the phone right now.
Yeah.
And this is Christine Marie, right? Christine Marie? Right?
Yes, I'm here.
God bless you, Christine.
Hey, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Very, very good. And we appreciate you checking in. I'm sorry we couldn't get you to Skype in. Everybody could see your beautiful face and your cherry cheeks.
Thank you so much.
She's blushing now.
I
am.
She's beautiful, lethal, and just a humble person.
Yes, absolutely. But Christine has a great story, and let me set it up, folks. And you guys jump in if I kind of get astray a little bit here.
I'll let her jump in.
Yeah, Christine can defend herself. I mean, she's defended us.
I bet she can. I bet she can. I don't doubt that after I saw her in her fatigues, man. Let me tell you something. But Christine is a hero. Now we're talking to a bona fide hero here, and it's really interesting because in the last 20 years, this is the first time that women have been recognized to be on the battlefront of our wars that we get thrust into in this country. Whatever your political adventure is or your religious adventure is, the bottom line is when our men and women go overseas to defend our country, they're defending your right to have those views, whatever they may or may not be. So that becomes a benign and a neutral state. And this is the first time that women have really experienced some of the terrible things that warriors of the past have had to experience. And so that's an interesting, different understanding there. But this young lady that we're about to talk to, she not only did one tour of duty, but not 2 tours of duty, but 3 tours of duty. Now, folks, this is an all-volunteer military we live in. It's not like my father. He was conscripted into Korea and drafted. It's not like Vietnam. It's not like World War II. All right? This is a volunteer system that people go through. And this woman volunteered 3 times. And that in itself is heroic. And I want to appreciate your service, Christine, to this great country and to your family and to your loved ones and to everybody who respects what you did and the price you paid for us to have the freedoms in this country. Thank you.
Well, it was my honor. I tell everybody that I had the greatest job in the military, which was taking care of heroes, and I will stand by that until the day that I die.
Good.
Absolutely.
I joined I actually joined the Army in 1994, so I joined well before the post 9/11 war generation became a thing, and I was already serving when 9/11 happened, and for everyone who was already wearing the uniform at that time, we were aware that it was highly likely that we were going to have to go to combat and defend our country after 9/11.
What was it like when that happened and you already had the uniform on? What was the feeling like with your fellow combatants, your fellow warriors?
I was actually in the D.C. area on 9/11. And I was part of the, not initial response, but the secondary response to the Pentagon. So I was actually involved in 9/11 from an intimate perspective. And it was nothing like you would ever expect to see on U.S. soil. It was just surreal. And, when we got back home and back to our unit and we were watching television, we were watching the news coverage from New York City and from the Pentagon in Washington, D.C., I just remember looking around the room and looking at the faces of some of my fellow unit members that had been out there with me that day. And it was like looking at a room full of zombies who couldn't believe. And then someone actually broke the silence and said, this is war. We're probably going to have to go fight somewhere. And that was the realization that became our lives for more than almost 2 decades.
It really becomes very simple and very direct and specific when you make that statement, because in seeing that unfold in front of you and then having to take those orders and go through the action of taking care of that, did you ever think that would happen when you signed up originally?
It's a conscious awareness that you always have in the back of your mind, just because you know that that's part of your job and that's part of your duty and part of your responsibility if the time comes. But you hope that the time never comes, if that makes sense.
Right. Yeah, I get it. And you were a medic, right? Right from the beginning?
Yes.
Okay, so you actually, medics, ladies and gentlemen, they not only help people get better and heal and keep people alive, but they're part of the fighting unit that's out there on the front lines. They're just not sitting in some tent somewhere behind a big rock and they run out. They're actually part of the unit in the engagement of fire. And in terms of that, you have some pretty harrowing experiences about that. Can you talk a little bit about those?
Yeah, sure. Just to explain a little bit about what it was like over there for the people who don't know. Every mission, we had forward operating bases. We called them FOBs, FOBs for short. And every mission that went off of the forward operating bases, which was referred to as being outside the wire, every type of mission, it didn't matter if it was a resupply mission or a route clearing mission to, sweep the IEDs off of roads that were well traveled by military convoys, anything outside the wire. You always had medics with those assets. Just in case something happened, we were right there, and we could treat the wounded, and we could call for medevac and do what was needed to save lives. So we were very much in the thick of things, and that was not any different for the female combat medics. In fact, I believe that the MOS, the military occupational specialty that saw the most KIAs for females was the MOS of 68 Whiskey, which was combat medic.
So when you were in the theater of action and this was taking place, and this happened, through your whole life here in the military, there was a certain incident that I understand that you actually got shot. You actually were wounded while you were saving one of your heroes of your unit.
Yeah, I was responding to an IED, improvised explosive device that had detonated near one of the small towns or villages, and I was treating a casualty. And there was a practice that the insurgents in Iraq would use where they would set up secondary IEDs, and they would use a remote detonating device on it, so that they would wait until the medics responded to the casualties that were caused by the initial IED, and then they detonate the secondary IED and try to take out the medics.
So you guys had a target. Literally, you were targeted.
Yes, because we were the force multipliers. We could take people and we could put them back on the battlefield, and the enemy knew that. They were not stupid. So yeah, we were targeted. And I was actually there treating a casualty, and there was a secondary device that was put in place. I actually got really lucky because someone had parked a car in front of it after the both of the IEDs had been planted. And so the car actually shielded me from the blast of the secondary IED to the point where I wasn't severely wounded. If that had not been the case, I probably wouldn't be here.
And you were in the process of helping another soldier.
Yes. And I wasn't shot. I got hit with about a 3-inch by 2-inch, 3-inch piece of triangular shrapnel that ricocheted off of something and came up underneath my flak vest and hit me in the abdomen, and it nicked my liver. So I was medevaced after the initial casualties were evac'd because I was not as high priority as they were.
And let me tell you a little bit about this woman, ladies and gentlemen, because now she's wounded in battle, saving somebody else's life. Or did he live or she live?
Yes.
Okay, so you completed your job and
that was a good day.
That was a good day. That was a good day. So you saved another person's life in battle, and you got wounded, and they fly you back, and you're sitting in the hospital you go through your surgery or whatever, and she's sitting in the hospital trying to get better, and she's told now that they're going to send her stateside. They're going to send her home. Okay. And what did you say then? What did you do at that point?
Well, it depended on each casualty, what the injuries were and what the healing time was that was required. But normally, if your injury required you to stay in the hospital beyond a couple of days or so, you would be medevaced out of country. Most of the casualties went from the Middle East, Iraq, and Afghanistan to Launch Joel Regional Medical Center in Germany, and then back to Walter Reed in the States. But they told me that if I could get myself out of bed and get ambulatory and get my system working again, that they wouldn't send me back. They would discharge me to my unit on a profile, and that I would still get to stay there, but not go out on missions until I was fully convalesced. And I didn't want to leave my unit, and I didn't want to leave my people hanging, so I made sure that I was the first person to get up out of bed and start walking around.
You say that with such pride and such happiness that you were able to go back to your unit. But folks, let me tell you something. Right there in itself, that decision is a decision of a hero. Because she not only saved somebody's life, but she's willing to give her whole life up again just to save somebody else. She could have went home. But she wanted to stay for her guys and her gals. You know,
every casualty that I ever treated said that as well. We all said the same thing. Nobody ever wanted to leave their brothers and sisters behind.
That's the definition. People ask me all the time, what is an American? She just said it right there. Don't want to leave my brothers and sisters behind. And that's what makes our country so great. Wow.
You know, it's different when it's words. It's what this lady went through, I just can't imagine. We get the pleasure of being actors to act like these folks do in real life. It's,
right.
I can't imagine that. Just to put a whole new perspective on things.
So now you come back home, you start your life, and things are going, and then you run into these two knuckleheads. Right? You pretty much run into these two knuckleheads who show up in your beautiful town. By the way, I have a ranch about an hour and a half north of you where you're at. I know your country real well up there. And
isn't it gorgeous?
It's absolutely gorgeous, and I love taking out the hogs because you guys got a wild boar problem up there in those mountains. Yeah, they do. They have wild boar. And it's open season on them because the boars, they rip up all the agriculture and they rip up all the grazing ground and everything. But it's beautiful up there. It actually is gorgeous. And I'm an hour and a half north of you, even farther, where there's nobody. And I kind of like that. But you run into these guys and you become part of this whole movement, which the movie Warfighter talks about PTSD. Can I ask you, do you have PTSD?
I was diagnosed with PTSD after I came back, yes.
May I ask you? You don't have to answer. What were your symptoms? What were you going through? What was your symptomatic issues with PTSD?
It was really bad when I first came home. I was in that hypervigilant mode. I have a weapon, a personal weapon. I would take it to the bathroom with me in the middle of the night.
Wow.
I had nightmares, like flashback kind of nightmares. I had bouts of insomnia, which I wouldn't sleep for days at a time. I actually had like the stress was so bad when I would have these flashback dreams at night. I would grit my teeth in my sleep, and I actually cracked a couple of my teeth to the point where I had to get 2 of them crowned. So
teeth are the hardest bone in the body.
Yeah.
Wow. And are you okay now? Are you better?
I'm better. I went through a period where I was having a tough time. I was kind of dealing with a lot of anger and some of the losses that and the guilt. It was bad for me because I was one of those people who was, charged with saving lives. And the reality of the situation is that I couldn't save everybody that found their way in front of me, unfortunately. But I went to the VA and I tried to seek help through the VA, and they told me that they had an all-male therapy group, but they didn't really want to put me in the middle of it because they were afraid that if a woman was introduced to the group, that it would cause the males to not share everything and be as open as they needed to be, which is understandable. But they didn't. Given a counselor, and she was brand new and didn't have any experience working with veterans of any kind, much less combat veterans. And so I stopped going, and I stopped doing anything for a while until I got hit pretty hard by the anniversary of the death of a soldier that I knew, and I figured out that I needed to do something for myself, get myself some help. And I did that. I found a counselor, an older female who actually had experience working with Vietnam veterans, and she was able to help me work through a lot of my issues and let go of a lot of the.
That's one of the things that at play here now with women coming out of the military is that there aren't a lot of experienced professionals. There's more now than there has been in the past. But there's not a lot of experienced professionals that understand the problem that women go through with PTSD. As we were talking about earlier, it affects everybody differently, and women and men are different. We're a different species. I've been married 29 years, so I know that we're a different species.
And it's like you said, in this modern war generation, females have been called on to do more in this modern war generation than in any war generation past. And so it's not a huge leap to consider the fact that, well, if they were on the battlefield and that they had many of the same experiences that the males did, then they would also be suffering the same after effects as well.
So you run into these guys in Tehachapi, and they have this wonderful film called Warfighter, which talks about a lot of the issues that you so eloquently spoke about here and are so personal. I really appreciate you taking a few moments of your time and sharing with our audience, our viewing audience, and our listening audience, because we get really jaded living in America. We don't know really all the ins and outs of stuff, and unless you've served in a combat situation, you don't know. It's just period. You don't know. Right. And it's nice that people like you can share that to help people understand, and the fact that you are a woman sharing that is just top notch. So you see the movie Warfighter, and I guess Jerry, you can jump into here. How did Christine get tied up with you guys? I mean, how did that happen?
Well, when we decided to put our world premiere in Tehachapi.
Right.
After I got it set up with Will Viner at the hitching post, I have to thank him, indebted to him for letting us have that opportunity. I reached out to a group, Tehachapi, the Patriots of Tehachapi group on Facebook by Arlie Sparkles. She runs it.
Facebook can be good sometimes.
Yeah, you know, and it's kind of funny. I can hear Christine laughing. I put a post out saying, "Hey, we're coming into town, and I want to, see if anyone wants to help us out." And I had, two people in particular. Tina Rubidoux reached out and became my right-hand woman, and then Christine also said, "Hey, I'd like to, help out and stuff. If you need." And I was like, "Okay." And I replied, I said, "Do you know any veterans?" And
and look who pops up, right?
Well, I asked her if she knew any veterans.
You asked her.
I asked her.
You shall receive. Wait a minute. Is this the actor not understanding that you're a veteran? I mean, I know I would take one look at you and I would say, "Oh, that's a woman I don't want to mess with. That's a veteran."
You know what? If you saw her when you meet her Saturday, you're not going to have any clue. She is a stunning, beautiful woman. Not that a veteran couldn't be, but. She's the farthest thing from what you would ever imagine a veteran looks like, and
isn't that sometimes the way it is? Oh, Christine, you're right, Jerry, because you don't really realize the inside from the outside, And warriors tend to be solemn people, don't they, Christine?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's funny you guys bring this up, though, because I think that's probably my favorite part about being who I am and being a veteran.
What, meeting these two guys? That's the highlight of your life, man. We got some I need to take you to Disneyland.
Well, that part too. That was amazing. But no, I get invited to speak at Memorial Day ceremonies and Veterans Day ceremonies and to veterans groups, and I'm a member of a couple of veterans groups in Tehachapi, the Red, White, and Blue Fund of Kern County, and I work with Blue and Gold Star Mothers, and I do a lot of stuff in the veteran community myself. I'm also a VFW member, but it never fails. Every time I go and I speak someplace, I always have at least one person come up to me afterwards to shake my hand and say, your story, because it came from you, just hit home in a way that it never would have if it had come from some, big burly infantry guy that we would have suspected had your experience. And so I'm proud to be that. I'm proud to be the person who makes people think that outside the box a little bit and recognize that, you know, we've made the contributions that we've made to serving our country and keeping our nation free.
So you meet these couple big burly guys, and they say, "Hey, come on, can you speak for us at our production and our premiere?" Right, Jerry?
Yeah, I think it was on her reply back to me.
Yeah.
The moment I read it, I couldn't think of anyone that'd be more honored to lead us.
He asked, "We got a hero."
Nice. And she rocked the house, didn't she?
Yes, she did.
Yeah, I mean, you were saying 2 hours, and Q&As, folks, usually last 10, 15 minutes, maybe 20, but 2 hours.
The audience, we were all crying.
There was tears.
Things opened up. One of our actors, David Robbins and Josh Santana, actually, both of them just opened up in topics, and by opening up the way they did and sharing something so personal to them, it allowed it for the audience and the veterans in the audience and others to also speak and give their voice. And
that's what you're doing here. This movement is about that, isn't it?
It was in that moment there. I'm pretty observant, you know, and I pay attention. And it was in that moment there that I was like, oh shit, we have something so much bigger than just this movie. I knew it already knew that, but I understood the direction and the magnitude of the stage that we have and what it's going to provide for uniquely each audience and each person that we come across.
You know,
that's fantastic. Now, for our audience watching and listening, we're going to go a little bit overtime here because this is such an important topic, and I want to jump into this some more. Saturday, this event is taking place. Christine, are you going to be there? Yes, you are going to be there, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so she's going to be speaking, and it actually is near a couple of military bases. So you've got a big military involvement going on with this, don't you?
Yeah, we do. We also we also have Camp Pendleton is going to be involved, and we have. I guess I don't know if I'm allowed to say. We have some incredible guests. They'll be there. The mayor, some politicians will be there as well.
Yeah. We're going to be out there covering it live too.
Oh, cool! Yeah, you're gonna. Yeah, you get to meet everyone. We'll have red carpet. Yeah. We can have pictures. Again, it's a fundraiser.
Yes. I'm going to charge everybody for the semi-truck 18-wheeler of handy wipes to wipe your eyes. I'm going to charge everybody at least a penny. I'm going to make a lot of money there, guys. So don't worry.
There's a lot of laughter that comes with that too. There's a little bit of everything.
It's something that's going to touch your heart at the end of the day. If you know, it's a human story,
right? You know, having somebody like Christine jump on board with us the way she did, and it kind of validated our movie, or Jerry's movie, to us. It opened up just a whole nother door, like he said, that just that you realize that this is much more than a movie. It's become a movement. Doing it grassroots the way that Jerry has started it and the way we're moving forward.
You've turned down some bigger operations that want to take you over, haven't you?
Correct.
Yeah. Well, you would lose what you're talking about.
Yeah.
If you did that.
We had an opportunity. Someone was offering us a couple $1,000s to put a big event in Los Angeles to do a premiere and fill 500. I mean, just a big
theater,
a big thing. And that movie, the Warfighter, was never that, and it just needed to start off somewhere. And when the idea came to Tehachapi, I just knew the answer was that was it. There's no way to try to pretend anything else and change.
As actors, how does this affect you guys as actors in your experience of doing the art? I mean, this has got to have touched you in ways that you've never been.
Yeah, I can answer that very easy. Like I said, when I listened to all the stories after the premiere, to actually listen to their life stories, that these guys go out and live this day in, day out, and they volunteered to do this, and they provide the security that lets me go out and be an actor to act like they do in real life. It really it puts a whole new perspective on things.
Right.
I mean, if you want an acting lesson and learn about what you are as an actor, talk to a veteran, man. Talk to these people that put their life on the line every day.
So we're going to play the second trailer, and you want to set this up, or you just want to let it roll?
This was the second trailer. The first trailer went viral, and it got we're at 3 million views.
I couldn't believe it, man. You were pushing 3 million views on that first trailer, guys.
Right? Yeah,
those are YouTube views. I mean, we're just starting to build our YouTube audience. We have audiences in other platforms, but that is amazing. Congratulations.
Sure.
Wow.
Cody St. Angelo, my business partner, she's the producer. She had a great marketing scheme.
I need to hire her.
Yeah. Brilliant. Yeah.
That's fantastic. Almost 3 minutes. So let's talk about this one.
So real quick on this one, the first trailer is a little bit longer, and we wanted to condense the second trailer. We wanted to kind of, because the first one came out early on stages of us getting done with the first cut of the film. Now it's, a year and a half later, and we're like, we need something. I wanted something fresh, something new, but we didn't want to lose the integrity of what we had in the first one, and that's family, brotherhood, and sacrifice, and just get that out. But we want to aim to try to hit a different crowd,
right?
And so we had an idea of that what it would be, and so you guys watch it, and then you can tell me, if it interests you.
This is for Warfighter, with a big event coming up this Saturday, starting in the mid-afternoon in Yorba Linda around 3 or 4 o'clock. You can go out there, check out the red carpet, and also kind of check out all the military stuff that's going to be there and see a great movie. This is trailer number 2 by the film of Warfighter. Hit it, my friend. Did you lose it? You lost.
I got this. Why don't you take a long lunch?
That's not it.
By the end of this call,
you got
either have a deal or we will never have a deal.
Yes.
You want to get home, but you can't think about that when you're in the field. I mean, we had a job to do, so just do our job.
Go! Run! Listen to me, okay? Honey, you're just having a dream.
Nightmare.
Yeah.
Monster in it. Hi, Casper!
Hey, little buddy.
You saw this one last night?
Yep. Bad moment.
You've been having a lot of those lately. I think you need to see a professional.
So Dorothy closed her eyes and tapped the heels together of her ruby red slippers 3 times. There is no place like home. There is no place like home. There is no place like home.
4 of our Delta operatives went dark after they crossed into Iranian territory.
It's imperative that we get eyes on the ground down there immediately.
Soon you pass over the Iranian border, you are on your own.
No air assets.
Cheer up.
Do you think sometimes souls get lost between here and heaven?
I am not leaving you. I'll go do my 9 to 5, get in the train, come home to you guys.
Clear this. Clear this. I'm coming back. I'm not gonna miss this.
I had you back then. I've got you back now. 1 is 9, 2 is 1.
What are we running from?
Not we. You.
You know what the moral of the story is? Always go out doing something that you love.
Okay. That's Warfighter, everybody. What a terrific film. You've got to see this epic feature film. And that's produced, of course, by the gentleman to my far left, and Jerry Angelo, and his terrific new film studio. The name of your studio is?
Fireborn Studios. It's basically the next Lionsgate or Blumhouse, it's where we're at.
Well, listen, I just want a job cleaning floors,
Yeah.
I'll be happy. Just give me a job, man. When I'm old and teeth are falling out,
Jesse,
I'm dribbling on my shirt.
The last thing you're ever going to need is a job, my friend.
Oh, yeah? I don't know, but Mama T, she's pretty much runs the house. She go, get out there and work, boy. Okay, God, I'm sorry. I can't lay around the house naked anymore. No. But nevertheless, good to have you guys here. Warfighter is a movie. We got a big event happening on Saturday. This coming up Saturday, just a few days away, out in Yorba Linda, and it's the 19th.
It's a free event.
It's free too, so come on out and participate in seeing this great movie, and kind of seeing movie stars and getting some autographs and some photos and some talk, and find out some true warriors are going to be there talking about some of their experiences, and you're just going to see a terrific movie and support our military, because all of this is in support of those suffering from PTSD and other issues that are related to that, because it just doesn't stop there, especially when families are involved. There's lots of side issues that take place here in terms of how that affects the family in a lot of ways. Employment, health with the family, all kinds of things happen because of PTSD. And by the way, I want you to call your congressmen and your senators, and I want you to reach out to President Trump. I want you to reach out to our governors, our mayors, and we have to really put the pressure on these politicians that control the budgets. They're not doing enough, though they're doing more than ever before. They're just not doing enough. When they can spend $1 trillion doing something and not paying back to those that provide the opportunity to spend $1 trillion, there's certainly billions and billions of dollars there to take care of each one of our veteran families in a way in which that they should be taken care of. We should lead the world like we did coming out of World War II, how we took care of our veterans, and we, like the history had never seen before, the warriors out of World War II were taken care of with education and health and jobs and positive environment to be able to work out their same problems that they had now. So we need to help them and give our vets a new mission. I think they should protect all our schools, quite honestly, and we should pay them $100,000 a year to do it. That's my opinion.
That's the start.
That's a good start. Give these men and women a mission that they can sink their teeth into and utilize their skills. You got some things coming up here, too, that are happening other than this film, because as an actor, of course, man, you're always moving on down the road. So what we got coming up here for you?
Well, we got a couple things on my plate, but the most important one is a movie called Maximum Speed that is going into pre-production very shortly. It was written by Tristan Fowler, who's
nice.
Just an amazing woman. I couldn't even go. I'd need a whole nother hour to explain how what she is to becoming to this industry. Aaron Norris is going to be directing it. It's a movie about stock car racing, bull riding, honky tonk music.
Oh, yeah.
It's an all American family oriented film. That's
I put my shit kickers on and wear my hat, right?
This is one you're going to be looking for next year. I promise you. So I can't talk an awful lot about it, but I would love to come and talk to you when I'm able to give you the.
Man, I just want to see in there playing the urban cowboy,
it's kind of funny. I think this movie actually grew out of an urban cowboy reunion at their bar.
Yeah, at Gilroy's? Gilroy's, the biggest bar in Texas at one time. Right.
So, Tristan, God bless you. Thank you for having me part of your project if you're listening. Aaron, love you.
Well, if you get a chance to drive a NASCAR on a track, you better take advantage of that at least one time.
Absolutely.
If they say, don't say no, say yes, please.
And the other thing real quick is if anybody's out there and you're compelled by this movie, we're going to try and do a grassroots tour with this, I imagine, from city to city across the United States to raise awareness for this terrible disease. And we'd like you to be part of it. Please let us know.
Well, we look forward to seeing you in the race car movies. Race car movies are always cool, man. I don't care what they say. They're always cool. And now you got some stuff coming up with your studio, and you got this grassroots thing. I mean, this obviously is the number one agenda right now on your plate, I would imagine. And where would you like to see this go if you had the ability to make it a pick and say, I want this to go this way?
I can tell you where it's going.
Okay.
Warfighter is going to be one of the biggest independent films of our time.
Nice. Excellent. And the grassroots thing is really, it takes time to flower, but once it gets going,
it takes a life of its own.
Yeah.
Yeah. It already
sort of
has.
like it went viral, that 3 million visits on Trailer One.
Yeah. What we are doing, we are transcending the way that independent film has been done in the past. We're the forefront of what's going to be the new trend. I'm almost certain, because if others don't follow in our footsteps, then why put so much time and effort into doing something, just giving it away to people that,
money's the end all.
Well, the big studios, they only know how to make the big cartoon budget movies. That's all. They don't even know how to do good storytelling anymore. Very rarely can they pull that off. Their whole machines are not wrapped up to do that kind of filmmaking anymore.
Sure.
And it all comes out of the independent producer. And with all the new technologies and the new generations that are coming on board, you can actually reach back and tell good stories again, because I think the public wants good storytelling. They're getting tired. There's room for the big explosions, but there's always room to touch your heart and have a message and help society and help people. And I think the millennial generation especially, I think they're finding out now that there is more than just playing with their thumbs on some fancy game or just goofing around with that there is more to life. And there's this search for what's important.
Yeah, I think
in a lot of ways.
This grassroots thing is like a base for the future of the Warfighter craft.
So now you've got, does your studio have some other projects that you're looking at now?
Yeah. Cody St. Angelo, one of our producers of Fireborn Studios, and we produced a film called Arctic. That was directed by, it was an incredible story. It's like Silence of the Lambs meets Saw, and it's directed by...
Oh, wow. A horror film?
Yes.
Nice.
It's like a thriller horror, and it's a directing debut also for Tom Bocci. He's
that's a Hollywood name if I ever heard it.
Yeah. And he is a career editor with a top marketing companies, and now he broke off and says, hey, that he actually saw the trailer of Warfighter, says, Jerry, he got a hold of me, he says, I want to cast you in my film and as a lead. Nice. And it's as the serial killer, and it's pretty freaky. Can I give you the voice?
Yeah.
Okay, it always goes like this. It's not every day you get to play tour guide for a friend.
Dude, I'm not
creepy.
waking up with you in the other room. That's for sure. We're coming to the end of the show, and we really appreciate you coming in here on the Jesse T Show. This has been a wonderful experience, and I'm so looking forward to this Saturday and all the projects that you've got coming out with your production company. And I'm looking forward to that race car movie. And look at anything that we can do here at the Power of Voices and the Jesse T Show to help you along the way. Please involve us and let us participate in some way there, and push your ideas to the forefront, because hey, they're making difference in people's lives. Obviously, Christine Maria is a perfect example. This movie has made a difference in her life. And
you're going to have a chance to witness it firsthand here soon.
Really appreciate it, guys. Hey, Warfighter, check it out, guys. There it is right there. You got to check it out. Got to look at it. And the Jesse T Show, we're going to be out of here from the community and all around the world. We're on the air and everywhere. The Brown Beauty is off duty. See ya! Okay, now this show is going to cost you at least $17.46 for this, okay? Maybe top throwing.